It's time for another classic Am I the A-hole video, music teacher edition. Hi, I'm a music teacher and this is my life. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome for those of you who might be new here. We have started a little bit of a social media series with only a few videos on that playlist on this channel, and in the past I have actually reviewed one Reddit AITA video or an Am I the A-hole story where someone posts to Reddit to get other people's feedback on whether or not they were in the wrong. And so today's video is no different. The topic of today's is whether or not someone's the a-hole for refusing to teach music lessons, but it's a completely different story than the last time that I made this kind of video. So I'm so excited to jump into the details of the story, to see what Reddit has to say, and finish off with my final verdict. But as always, before we get started, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss another video. So if you see me looking down, I've got my laptop right here. I'm going to go ahead and read the story. I did skim it a little bit ahead of time, but I have not read all of the juicy details. So let's jump in. The title of this post is, Am I the a-hole if I refuse to continue teaching with this student? It reads, so I'm a music teacher. I have a 30-year-old female student. We have 1 hour week online lesson. We started lessons in November. I'm just going to pause and say that this post is from 2 years ago. Anyway, we started lessons in November. Some lessons after she was messaging me from different numbers. Said she thinks someone might hack her and constantly changes numbers and formats for all her devices, so she loses all class material. So I ended up sending everything from the first to the last lesson on different numbers every week. Then she started texting me on a daily basis about stuff going on in her life. First time I answered politely, but after 2 weeks it started to feel a little much, and she was texting me until very late at night and from different numbers. I stopped reading her texts and only contacting her when it was time for the lesson. I'm going to pause and say that that's a very good idea on the side of the teacher. I don't know if they're teaching through a music school or if it's just privately set up through like Kijiji or from a website online or something, or a business card. But you definitely want to try to keep the communication as professional as possible, because like texting late at night, sharing things about your personal life, like every now and then in a lesson talking about something exciting happening outside of it, sure, but don't talk to them like you're best friends. Anyway, it says, around December, it became too much for me to teach this class, as she never did any homework and she always stopped the lesson and only wanted to chat. Continued to text me whenever and always requesting to resend everything again and again. I asked to be paid before Christmas for the lessons I had done. She didn't pay me. I tried to text her or call her, but she had changed numbers. After New Year's, she again texted me from a different number, so I finally found her. I asked why she hasn't paid me. She said, I don't deal with money, my mother does. And I asked her to talk to her mother about paying me. Again, this is a woman in her 30s and I do not know her mother. Her mother texts me saying she can't pay me now and she'll pay me at the end of January. She told me they were in a difficult situation financially. I understand difficulties, but they had all the holidays to pay me and didn't think about it. Told her it's okay, when they can afford it, they can pay me. This girl today thought we were going to have a lesson as usual. I told her I must be paid first. Her mother kept texting me saying why I won't teach her daughter. I told her clearly they have issues financially, so maybe they should reconsider music lessons, and I also do not work for free, as I'm a human too and I have to make ends meet. She doesn't now understand why I'm doing this and insists that I continue to teach her. I do not want to. They both are texting me and making me feel like I'm doing something bad to them, and they haven't even paid me. Okay, well, first impressions, I have a strong feeling before I even look at the comments that Reddit's going to deem this person not the a-hole. I mean, if you're performing a service or you are delivering a product, you need to get paid for that product if it's going to be work. So I have a strong feeling how Reddit's going to feel. Like I said before, good on the original poster for trying to keep communication professional. And yeah, it is a little weird to me that a 30-year-old doesn't deal with their own finances. Now, I don't know the 30-year-old, and there's a lot of context missing. If, let's say, this is a 30-year-old who has some type of disability and the mother is power of attorney, right? There's a lot of context missing. And I have met adults with special needs, learning disabilities. And so there are times where another family member is responsible for handling the finances, whether that's a sibling, a parent, a family friend that's been given the legal permission to do so. But I'm just going to go off of what I'm seeing, which is that as far as I can tell, there are no disabilities. There's no mention of that. And yeah, if you don't know the mother at all, I can see why OP is confused. Like, okay, well, I don't know the mother, so how would I go about contacting her or any of that other stuff? But let's see what Reddit has to say. This one post says, NTA, not the a-hole. Cut those people out of your life immediately. You shouldn't feel bad for not wanting to work for free. If they aren't paying you now, they probably won't in the future. So cut your losses and stop teaching her. OP responds with, they seem to not be able to afford it, and I don't get why they keep asking me to continue if they can't. I blocked her number, but she texted me from a new one. That's so frustrating, the whole new numbers thing. Like, what is that? How, as a 30-year-old adult, who I'm assuming has some level of maturity and intellect, are you not capable of keeping the same number? If you're really getting hacked that much, then you might want to consider your options, right? Could you increase how much cybersecurity you have? Could you, let's say you don't only use private Wi-Fi, like could you use data or other more secure connections? Like, how is it that you're getting hacked this much? I don't know any adult in my life, even if they have been hacked, who's been hacked this frequently, and certainly not for a phone number. But I'm going to keep reading this response. I genuinely believe the mother's intentions, but they won't accept that I don't want to teach, and the mother insists I'm doing something bad to her daughter. It's a music lesson. It's not like she can't live without it. I don't get it. Exactly. And honestly, this is part of why, whether I'm teaching through a music school or even if I've just taught someone that I know personally, right? There was someone I met through church who wanted to take saxophone lessons with me, and I have it all in writing in an email. Hey, this is my cancellation policy. I expect payment, in advance. You could purchase, let's say, 8 lessons at a time. That covers approximately 2 months worth of lessons. And then we can go from there. I need this much notice for cancellation. Otherwise, I will still count it as a paid session, so that all of that's in writing, so that if they're not paying you, then there is a way to go about possibly seeking compensation. The hard thing is that they only teach online. So I have no way of knowing if they've ever met face-to-face, which makes it a lot harder. And if they have a different number all the time, then who's to say that they're not just going to try to all of a sudden go no contact if OP tries to reach out regarding financial compensation. And the daughter and the mother, in this case, are really shady. Another person says, not the a-hole, stop answering FFS. Okay, is it just me? I don't know what FFS means. If you know what it means, let me know in the comments. It says, write off the debt and cut all ties. You're never going to get paid anyway. And then OP says, you believe they're not going to pay me ever? And then a different person says, no, they're not. Of course, you could always take them to court, but that could take a lot of time and a lot of resources, so it probably isn't worth it unless the amount they owe you is life-changing, like down payment on a house level of life-changing. They sound like the kinds of people who will have excuses for everything and will keep pushing the boundaries until you cut them off completely. Not the a-hole, another person says, cut your losses and stop teaching her. You're not going to get paid. She's not going to ever do her homework. Sketchy for sure. Ooh, okay. I like this response because this person doesn't come from a music teaching background. This person writes, I come from the automotive and motorcycle service industry previously. When we have a job or a client that makes life this difficult over the standard fare we give them, what we colloquially call the FU price, we would quote a job so high that we couldn't lose. Ideally, they would take themselves or their job somewhere else and it wouldn't be our problem. Or they'd say yes, and at least we'd make a killing on an awful job we didn't want to do or the awful customer we hated dealing with. Obviously, you already have difficulties getting these obnoxious people to pay. So that seems like a losing tact here, but definitely not the a-hole for refusing to work with them until you're paid and you WNBTA would not be the a-hole, even if you refuse to work with them even after you're paid. The eccentricities they are displaying are already a deal breaker in my opinion. Absolutely forget not getting paid on time on top of it. Not the a-hole, this is not your job, not volunteer work, and you're a music teacher, not a therapist or a friend. If you've never met her mother, and this woman is already using a bunch of different phone numbers, who's to say her mother who deals with the money isn't just another one of her several phone numbers away. My God, if that's not her mother and it's actually her, that's dark. Yeah, I mean, I'm giving her benefit of the doubt. I'm assuming this is actually the mother. If you couldn't tell already, I agree with Reddit. Not the a-hole at all. Sketchy as heck. I wouldn't continue teaching them either. And I understand where they're coming from with the whole, if it's a life-changing amount of money, you may want to seek a way through a court system of getting paid. Otherwise, similar to what they're saying, I'd say cut your losses and go no contact. Block the number. If there are new numbers contacting you, I wouldn't go so far as to change your number if it's just one person, but definitely I would just block every single number. I would block their email addresses, go full no contact, because it's really not worth it. If they're right, if they're not paying you, it's not free, it's not volunteer work. And in the future, I would put everything in writing in an email. I would also say it verbally, but just also write it down. Say, hey, here's my expectation regarding payment. Pay for this many lessons ahead of time. If someone is sick and you give me more than 24 hours notice, or if something comes up, it's an emergency, absolutely we can reschedule. Otherwise it counts as paid. Put all of that in writing. Make sure they pay for at least one lesson ahead of time, because I guarantee you, like, I give one free lesson as a trial lesson. After that, I do not teach anything for free. And I'm telling you right now, the fact that they already got away with lessons for free, 100% they're taking advantage of you, just like what one of the Redditors said. So no, you are not the a-hole. And again, I told you how you can avoid this in the future, but if you haven't already, this post is from 2 years ago. I really hope this person has blocked them and gone no contact. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. Let us know in the comments below if you've ever dealt with a similar situation, whether you're a musician, music teacher, or not. Give us a follow on Instagram, and as always, I'll see you back on this channel with another brand new video very soon. Bye, everyone.